Timing has always been the invisible line between profit and loss, between the trader who survives and the one who disappears. You can read every book, memorize every pattern, but unless you learn to act at the exact right moment, the market will teach you a painful lesson. There is no mercy for hesitation, no forgiveness for impulsiveness. The market doesn't care about your emotions, it only rewards precision, and that precision begins with understanding your own psychology. Most traders think perfect timing means predicting where the market will go next. It doesn't. Perfect timing means learning when to act and, equally important, when to do nothing. The greatest profits I ever made were not because I caught the top or the bottom, but because I waited until the market showed me it was ready to move. The patience before execution, that's where most traders fail. They can't wait for confirmation because waiting feels uncomfortable. Their minds crave action. But in trading, waiting is a weapon. Every market cycle whispers its intentions before it moves. The price action begins to tighten, volume shifts subtly, volatility changes tone like the calm before a storm. But most traders miss it because they're too busy reacting to every tick, every candle, every rumor. Timing is not about guessing. It's about learning to sense when the odds are shifting in your favor. I never believed in rushing. I learned to wait for the market to prove me right before committing. The truth is, most traders act too early. They see a pattern forming and jump in before it confirms. They want to be first, to feel smart, to prove their intuition right. That ego costs them money. The market punishes premature confidence. The key to timing isn't about being early, it's about being right. You can be late and still make a fortune, but if you're early and wrong, you'll lose both capital and confidence. When I was younger, I used to chase trades the moment I saw them forming. I thought speed was skill. I believed getting in before everyone else meant I'd catch the biggest move. But over time, I learned that the best trades don't require chasing. They give you room to plan, to confirm, to enter with conviction. The market always gives a second chance if you're patient enough to wait for it. Here's what perfect entry timing really means. It's the point where preparation meets confirmation. You've already done your analysis. You know the trend, the structure, and the levels that matter. But you don't act until the market gives you proof, not hope, not emotion, but undeniable evidence. The breakout that doesn't fade, the pullback that holds, the reversal that aligns with volume. That's when you act, not before. Think of the market as a wild animal. You don't jump at it the moment you see movement. You observe its rhythm, its breathing, its direction. Then, at the precise moment it commits to a move, you strike. Most traders have no timing because they have no control over their nerves. Their entries are emotional, not logical. They fear missing out more than they fear losing. That fear drives them to act when they should be watching. The secret to mastering entry timing lies in mastering yourself. Every hesitation, every impulse, every rush of excitement before a trade, it's all psychology. You can't time a move you don't understand emotionally. You must train your mind to become still while the market moves. You must learn to detach from the need to be in the market at all times. The perfect trade comes to you, you don't chase it. When I talk about waiting for the perfect timing, I don't mean perfection in the literal sense. I mean waiting until your trade idea aligns with reality. The market confirms your bias, not your bias confirming the market. Many traders twist the data to fit their expectation. They see what they want to see. I used to do that too. I would hold on to positions, hoping the market would prove me right. It rarely did. Hope is not timing. Evidence is. Perfect entry timing also depends on context. You can't treat every setup the same. A breakout during high volatility behaves differently from one in a quiet, range-bound market. A pullback in an uptrend during accumulation is not the same as one during distribution. Timing requires that you understand the environment you're trading in. You must know the personality of the market you're dealing with, calm, erratic, trending, or exhausted. The market is a living organism. It breathes in cycles, and each cycle has its own tempo. When you synchronize your timing with that rhythm, trades feel effortless. You enter without hesitation because everything aligns: the trend, the structure, the confirmation, your own state of mind. That's what I call flow. But if you're anxious, distracted, or revenge trading, your rhythm is broken. You'll always be a step too early or too late. The perfect timing also depends on your risk appetite. Many traders forget that timing isn't just about entry. It's about where you're wrong. If you can't define where the market proves you wrong, you have no timing at all. You have a gamble. Every entry must be tied to a clear invalidation point. That's where discipline lives. Without that, you're just hoping the market will move your way. When I entered a trade, I never cared about being right. I cared about being positioned correctly. That means I could withstand the normal fluctuations without fear, but also cut losses immediately if the market violated my setup. That's part of timing, knowing when to let the trade breathe and when to accept defeat. Good timing is about execution, not ego. You must also understand that timing is a numbers game. No one gets it right every time. You're not aiming for perfection. You're aiming for consistency. If your timing allows you to capture the meat of the move more often than not, you've already succeeded. The rest is noise. Too many traders get obsessed with catching the exact top or bottom, a fool's game. The middle of the move is where consistent profits live. Sometimes the best timing is no trade at all. Knowing when to stay out is a higher form of timing. There are days when the market gives no clear direction, when every move feels forced. Those are the days professionals sit on their hands while amateurs bleed capital. I learned the hard way that forcing trades is a slow form of suicide. You don't need to trade every day. You need to trade only when the opportunity is clear. In my career, the trades that made the biggest difference always had one thing in common. They were effortless. They aligned perfectly with the market's momentum. There was no confusion, no hesitation. Everything clicked. That's what happens when your timing matches the pulse of the market. You're no longer fighting it, you're flowing with it. So how do you develop perfect timing in practice? You train it through observation. Watch the market more than you trade it. Study how price reacts around key levels, how volume confirms or contradicts moves, how patterns evolve into trends. The more you observe, the sharper your instincts become. That instinct, refined through repetition, becomes your internal clock. It tells you when to wait, when to strike, and when to stop. But even with perfect timing, you must remember, no setup is guaranteed. That's why position sizing and risk control exist. Timing gives you an edge, not certainty. You must still protect your capital like a fortress, because without capital, timing means nothing. There were moments I mistimed trades and lost fortunes. The pain of those losses burned lessons into my soul. Every mistake made me more patient, more selective, more precise. That's how true timing is forged, not from success, but from failure. The more you study your mistimed entries, the more you realize they were never random. They were emotional reactions disguised as logic. If you want perfect entry timing, stop obsessing over indicators and start studying yourself. The best timing tool is your own patience. The longer you can wait for a trade that meets every condition, the closer you are to mastery. The market rewards clarity, not chaos. When you've truly mastered timing, you'll notice something profound. You no longer chase. You no longer force trades. You move with calm precision. You trust your process. You accept your losses quickly and ride your winners without fear. You stop trying to outsmart the market and start letting it speak to you. And when that happens, when your psychology aligns with your strategy and your timing aligns with the market, that's when trading becomes art, not gambling, not guessing, but disciplined execution guided by instinct, patience, and control. Perfect entry timing isn't about being lucky. It's about becoming so disciplined that you only act when the odds, the structure, and your own mind are perfectly aligned. That's not a trick. That's not a hack. That's the timeless truth of trading, and it will never change, no matter how fast or modern the markets become.